Morning arrives the same way it always does, quietly, before the light finds its way through the curtains. I can already hear the house breathing. Aside from the wooden floor, the soft hum of the kettle, a whisper of steam beginning to rise. It's strange how familiar sounds can feel like company, like voices we once knew, still speaking softly from the corners of the room. I sit at the table, as I always have. The air smells faintly of toast and something older. Maybe it's the memory of her hands, dusted with flour, turning dough into something warm and alive. The scent carries me somewhere time can't quite reach, back to mornings when love had a sound and laughter was as common as sunlight. Pause, the kettle sings again, gentle and patient. I pour the water over the tea leaves, a quiet ritual I've never let go of. The steam rises, soft and curling, like a memory taking shape. There's comfort in this moment, in the slowness of it all. No rush, no noise, just the hum of life beginning again. Pause, faint birdsong outside. I remember the mornings of the old house. The windows fogged with breath, the smell of bread baking before dawn. She used to hum as she worked, nothing special, just a tune that lived between moments. I never asked her where it came from. Now I wish I had, because sometimes when the house is too quiet, I catch myself humming the same tune without knowing it, and it feels like she's here, not in sight, but in scent and sound and silence. Pause, soft piano notes. Funny thing about smells, they never really leave. They cling to time, to air, to memory, like the faint trace of perfume on an old scarf, or the sweetness of coffee grounds left in a wooden jar. They are ghosts, kind ones, never frightening, always gentle, reminding us that the past is not gone, just folded neatly between moments. Pause, kettle cooling sound. The sunlight finally touches the kitchen wall, soft, golden, almost shy. It moves slowly, like it's afraid to disturb what's left behind. I watch the light dance over the photographs, over the small cracks on the table where life has been lived. Every mark, every stain a story, a memory baked into the grain of the wood. I think about how mornings used to be louder, the rush of little feet, the scrape of chairs, the clatter of plates, children laughing, voices calling, someone always running late. And in between all that noise there was love, the kind that didn't need words, just the smell of toast and tea and the warmth of someone saying, "Sit, eat, it's still hot." Pause now, the mornings are slower. The bread takes longer to toast. The tea cools faster. But somehow that's alright, because these quiet moments hold something precious, a kind of peace that only time can teach. Pause, faint ticking clock sometimes. I close my eyes and imagine the house as it was. The walls filled with sound, the air heavy with life. I can still hear her voice, gentle but firm, calling me by name. And for a heartbeat, it feels like I can answer. Then the silence returns, kind, patient knowing. Pause, they say scent is the strongest memory. I believe that, because this morning, as the aroma of tea fills the room, I can almost see her again, standing by the stove, back turned, humming. The light catches her hair, soft as steam, and I swear for a moment, she turns, not to speak, just to smile. Pause, piano deepens slightly, time changes the way we feel things. In youth, mornings are beginnings. In age, they become blessings. Each one a reminder that we're still here, still able to smell, to taste, to remember. And maybe that's enough. Pause, I lift the cup to my lips. The tea is warm, a little too strong, just the way she liked it. Outside, a bird lands on the fence, quiet and still. The world feels gentle again, soft, familiar, like a song that plays only for those who take the time to listen. Pause, kettle refilling sound sometimes. I think the aromas of morning are messengers, not from heaven, not from the past, but from love itself. They whisper what words can't, that we are remembered, that we are not alone, that someone somewhere once cared enough to bake, to pour, to wait. Pause, I wonder how many stories have started in kitchens like this. How many promises made between sips of tea. How many goodbyes softened by the smell of bread and warmth. It's funny life begins and ends in such simple places. Not in grand rooms, but in small corners where love was shared, quietly, faithfully. Pause. Faint wind outside. When I was younger, I never understood why she loved mornings so much. She'd wake before everyone else, just to open the curtains and let the day in. Now I do the same. Maybe that's how love stays, not in big gestures, but in habits that outlive us. Every morning, I open the curtains. Every morning, I make tea. And in that repetition, I find her again. Pause. There's a photograph on the counter, faded at the edges. We're both younger, standing outside the old house. She's holding a loaf of bread, proud, smiling, sunlight on her face. I never noticed before, but behind her, there's steam rising from the kettle, just like now. Maybe life is a circle of small, quiet moments, repeating gently, just to remind us that love never leaves completely. Pause. Distant clock chime. I think of the grandchildren sometimes. Their laughter still lives in this house, like echoes that refuse to fade. Their drawings on the fridge, crooked magnets holding time and place. They come and go, as they should, building their own mornings, their own smells, their own memories. But when they visit, they always say the same thing. Grandpa, your house smells like bread and stories. And I smile, because maybe that's all I ever wanted it to smell like. Pause. The kettle hums again. The day moves forward. Outside, the light is brighter now, but not harsh. The world feels awake, and so do I. I take another sip, cooler now, but comforting still. And I realize warmth isn't always about heat. Sometimes it's about presence, about memory, about love that lingers even after the cup runs dry. Pause. Music softens to near silence, so I sit a little longer, letting the aromas do their work, carrying me gently through time. They whisper stories only I can hear, of hands that once kneaded dough, of laughter over breakfast, of soft goodbyes by the window. And as I listen, I understand. Life isn't measured in years or milestones. It's measured in mornings like this, slow, fragrant, filled with quiet love. Pause. Final piano notes. Maybe that's what these aromas are trying to tell me. That nothing truly disappears. Love changes form, but never fades. It lingers in air and memory, in the first breath of every day. I finish my tea. The house settles into its gentle rhythm again, and as the steam fades from the cup, I whisper softly to no one in particular. Good morning, love.